Hello, this is Jim Caraba, and I'm an agricultural safety specialist with the Northeast Center. And our tools of the trade presentation is on power takeoff safety, and we're going to highlight our power takeoff boot and shoelace demonstration. And we will now present some basic information on power takeoff safety. The power takeoff shaft is a rotating drive shaft which transmits power from the tractor's engine back to an implement. This shaft spins with great speed and force. The PTO is a source of a great number of farm work-related injuries and deaths. Entanglements in PTOs can cause severe traumatic injuries or death. It's the spinning motion of the shaft that really creates the hazard, which is a wrapping hazard. And a 540 RPM shaft spins about 9 times per second, or roughly will travel about 7 feet. So any loose clothing items could get caught in that, and you could be pulled around that shaft if you do not have a proper shield in place. Like on this slide here, this is a broken PTO shield, and obviously needs to be replaced. There's a huge wrapping hazard with this in this picture. This next slide shows a properly shielded PTO shaft. The tractor master shield is in place, the implement master shield is in place, and the tubular PTO shield is in place. And before use, the operator should inspect all of the shielding to make sure that it's in place and it's functioning properly. Never step over a PTO shaft like in this picture, even when everything is shut off, because you might get in the habit of stepping over that rather than walking all the way around the machine. And if you get in a rush or a hurry one day, you might forget it and try to step over that shaft while it's running, and you could get entangled in that. So always make sure you're walking all the way around equipment to get to the other side. In this slide, we see a picture of a straw-filled dummy wrapped on a PTO shaft. But this is what could happen to a person in the blink of an eye if part of your clothes get caught on that rotating shaft. In addition to proper shielding, newer PTO shafts are now made of round and smooth components to eliminate protrusions which could potentially catch on clothing. So now in this part of our presentation, we're going to have a video of a demonstration that's going to illustrate the speed at which PTO shafts. So this will be a visual demonstration which uses a boot with a simulated loose shoestring and 2 volunteers. To illustrate how fast PTO shafts travel and the danger of them, I do this demonstration that I call the Pto Boot Demo. So it involves a boot with a long string, which it simulates a shoelace, and then I'll get 2 volunteers from my audience, and one will be a tractor driver and one's going to be a victim. So I'll have the tractor driver hold the boot, and then I'll have the victim take the string, and we'll simulate that the tractor operator was on the tractor operating the controls, and the victim was on the ground working near the PTO shaft, and the victim was a little bit lazy that day and didn't tie their shoelace. Their shoelaces were dangling out, and it got caught on the PTO shaft. So it's starting to grab the shoelace, and it's wrapping around the shaft, and it's going to pull them into the shaft. So what I asked the audience or the tractor driver is, how long do you think their shoelace would have to be in order for you to have enough time to react, shut off the PTO, and then stop the PTO and save their lives? So, and we'll have the victim walk out with the string, and I'll have them tell them to stop when they think that's long enough. So now for my demo, I just need 2 volunteers. One's going to be a tractor operator, and one's going to be a victim. So now our victim is going to walk out with the shoelace, and tractor operator, when you think the shoelace is long enough that you could react in enough time, shut off the PTO and save her life, go ahead and tell her to stop. Oh, she's dead. That's not long enough. Okay, we're going to bring her back to life. Go ahead and walk out some more. Oh, she's dead again. That's still not long enough. Okay, bring her back to life. Keep going. I don't know. I think she's dead again. Make sure that's coming out all the way. Okay, keep going. All right, hold that out straight. There. That's 21 feet. So that's how far that PTO shaft is going to travel in 3 seconds, is 21 feet. And do you have shoelaces 21 feet long?
No.
No, not usually. And will the PTO shut off instantly when the tractor operator shuts off the PTO? No, it might still rotate for quite a while. So the lesson here is to always make sure the shields and guards are in place, and that they're working properly before you use the machine. Always shut everything off before you're going to go back and work on it, and wait until the whole machine stops moving before you go back and make any type of adjustments or clean a clog or anything like that. Any service work, wait for everything to stop, shut everything off, and then make sure you're wearing tight-fitting clothing too. That's very important too. Like if you had long hair, you want to tie that up under a hat. Remove watches, rings, jewelry, that kind of thing. No loose, dangly strings. Always have tight-fitting clothing when you're working on a PTO shaft too. Well, thank you very much for volunteering, and I hope that you'll be safe when you go back home to work on your farms. The Northeast Center sells low-cost retrofit PTO shields from a company called Bearco, and these shields fit approximately 90% of the PTO drivelines that are out there. And you can go to the Northeast Center website to learn more about these shields that we sell. The Bearco shields come with an assortment of bearings. So when you buy one of these shields, you'll get a set of bearings like this, and you find the correct bearing that will fit on your PTO shaft. So there's a bearing groove behind the universal joint, so it would fit into there. And the small shield costs $59, and the large shield $77. So they're very cost effective. Here is a picture of a Bearco shield on a PTO shaft with illustrating the lever release mechanism. So the Bearco lever release mechanism is unique in that it allows you to slide the PTO shield back to access the universal joint for greasing, or to make connecting of the shaft to the PTO stub shaft a little bit easier. All of these shield components are easily replaceable. In this picture, the red levers are unlocked so that the shield is slid back from the universal joint, and then you would slide that shield back up onto the bearing and lock those levers down in place, and that was what would hold it onto the shaft in the proper position. So some basic PTO safety rules is check all the shields daily. So prior to use, the operator should check the shielding to make sure that it's intact and it's in place and that it's functioning properly. Maintain and lubricate the shields. So some of them may have grease fittings on them so that they continue to turn properly. And when you're working around PTO shafts or any rotating machinery, you always want to think about the type of clothes you have. So you want to wear close-fitting clothing, nothing loose or dangly. Remove watches, jewelry, no hoodie strings, pull back long hair or tuck long hair under a hat. And to check the shields properly, when everything's shut off and the PTO shaft's connected to the tractor, you should be able to spin the shield freely by hand. You shouldn't be able to pull the shield back from the universal joints. Other important PTO safety rules is before you're going to go back and work on the machine or clean anything, service or adjust anything, you want to shut everything down. So I would shut off the PTO and shut off the engine before you make any of these adjustments. Wait until everything has stopped moving before you go back and do anything, because when you shut off the PTO, on a lot of machines, they're going to keep spinning for a while through centrifugal force before that. And you wait till all that stops. Again, never step over a PTO shaft. Never allow children to play near PTO equipment or any other, non-workers or unauthorized people. Don't let them be near PTO-powered machines. Repair or replace defective PTO parts promptly. And you should always be thinking about how close you are to that shaft. If it's a stationary piece of equipment, you want to stay well away from that PTO shaft, as far away as you can get when that stationary machine is running. So that concludes our presentation. So thank you and stay safe. And you can always contact us for more information on anything that we've presented today. So thank you very much.